Hello, good evening. We are live. We got sound, video, and all the things. All right, excellent. I see Mary Beth is out on adventures already. Hopefully finding some lily pads in bloom. That's awesome. It is a beautiful evening here, but we have cicadas outside, so I would love to have the window open in my studio, but it's so loud. I know the mic would be picking it up and it would be crazy. So just got the fan on and we're gonna do some drawing and stuff. I got a cute little panda eating ice cream picture. So I'm excited about that. It's just a goofy thing, again, that I found on Gratisography, that's it, on their site, which is all free reference photos, and I think it's I like it. I think it's a little bit limited. They have a lot of what seems to be like AI generated stuff, but I like that it tends to have a weirder tone to it, so that's why I have been pulling a few pictures from there recently, and it's easy to like post the link up so you guys can download the pictures too if you want to also work with them. But anyway, that's what we will be working on today. And boo to me, I have day-old coffee that I'm drinking, leftover, not even warmed up, cold. I've been tired, guys, because, well, it's been a crazy weekend. Good. Tired, though. Let's see. What happened? I started on Friday, since my mom had a kind of earmark birthday this month. My sister and I, mostly my sister, made it happen and found the event. Took them into the city to see a candlelight concert. Candlelight string quartet is what it was. So that was pretty cool. And it was on the steps of the Field Museum, which is super neat. That was nice to do that. And then the next day, one really good friend of mine came out and we went into the city to do this pop-up craft event thing. No, not pop-up. It's literally called Pop Craft. And we'd scheduled it in advance, and we went there and made tufted rugs. They were just little guys like that big, but you get to go and learn how to use like the tufting machine gun thing, which is crazy and amazing. And I think we both left there wishing that we had one, and maybe one day that will happen. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I kind of like the idea that you could go and try this cool thing that you've heard about before you just, hey, let's just spend hundreds of dollars because I want to try to do the thing. So you can just go and try it out and see if it's something you might actually do. It was fun. A little frustrating because the gun thing would very easily become unthreaded, so there was like times where you're constantly rethreading it. The tension of the yarn skeins would just be a little too tight and just easily pull out. That was kind of irritating, but it was just like a fun thing. I think we spent 4 hours working on our designs. We did not think that we would be there that long doing that. But yeah, good creative day. And the next day she stayed with me and we had an art fair in town here. I did put up a post from there that I was doing the live demo, which ended up being a ton of fun. I didn't sit almost at all during the entire day. Painted a bunch, which made the time go really fast. Yeah, it was cool. I was happy with the paintings as they turned out too. Got good feedback on them, which is cool. It's always nice to, people actually like what you're doing. Enjoy it. That's always a nice feeling. I struggled for a while. I think I even mentioned on here trying to pick out what I was going to paint. It was going to be portraits was going to demonstrate at least one, maybe two portraits, and I just had the hardest time figuring out who I was going to paint, because I kind of didn't want to just do random pop culture people. I wanted it to be recognizable people, so that would be more, you know, interesting to folks who are just out for their day, hanging out at the art fair. But I didn't want it to be people that I wasn't interested in, just so that I would care and be engaged in the paintings and, you know, have them afterwards to do something with or sell or whatever, that I can enjoy them in the meanwhile. So yeah, I ended up choosing to do Marilyn Monroe and Frida Kahlo. And Frida is an artist that I very much admire and have for a very long time. And Marilyn Monroe is interesting. I think she kind of fits in with a lot of the themes of things that I talk about in my work. She was very, I mean, obviously very beautiful. Somebody that struggled a lot with mental health, depression, anxiety, had a difficult life, and obviously a very tragic end, far too early. She was way too young when she committed suicide, unfortunately. Very, very sad. She also had a lot of pain issues from my reading about her, endometriosis, gallbladder issues, all kinds of things. So, yeah, almost everything about her like fits in with things that I talk about in my work. So yeah, she made a good subject, and it was fun to paint. It's just fun to paint her. Like these, both people who are interesting to me and make an interesting, unique subject. What was interestingly kind of difficult was finding really good reference photos, because it's my picture here. Both of them like lived some period ago. The photo that I ended up using of Frida was taken, I believe, in the 1940s, I think, and the photo that I used of Marilyn Monroe was taken 1959 or so, something like that, 1960. So a lot of the photos that you find of them are black and white, and I don't mind working with black and white photos at all for portraits. I do that fairly often for myself, and just kind of colorize them myself. But in this, it's just, I really wanted to find photos that had the original color, and that I could work with that as part of my, you know, painting demonstration. And that was really difficult, because so many photos from then are black and white, and then when you find them that are colored, when you really look at them, they're actually post-colored. Like the photos are taken black and white, and then they have that colorization, like the layering on top of it. So yeah, the skin tones are very flat. It's just a color with the black or the white underneath it. Same with clothing and things. So I did my best to find photos that looked like they had some, you know, depth and richness to them. Things that I know that I looked a lot at trying to find public domain images, which is sometimes tricky too, even though their pictures are quite old. It seems that people still, I don't know how, I'm not, I guess, entirely sure how copyright exists with that sort of thing, because in most instances, copyright expires after, well, I guess, what is it? 79 years after, is it after the death of the creator? Is it? I don't know. I guess I need to look that up and actually remember that kind of information. It kind of matters. It matters if you're looking for reference, and it matters if, like, if I'm just doing paintings that are for myself and for study, it does not matter that much. But if it's for something that I would intend to eventually like sell, then it really matters. Because it used to be considered that an artist rendition of something made it a new thing. I mean, it had to be changed, not like completely copied, but by an artist painting something in their style, it would make it a different project, and it wasn't an issue. But there was been a recent Supreme Court case. Well, I mean, there's ethical issues with everything, and if it is something that's owned by somebody, you need to be careful. But anyway, the Supreme Court recently sided against artists, even when something was changed pretty drastically from an original. So tread carefully. A lot of us are pretty small potatoes, so the likelihood of there being a big issue may be small, but it's also just like, if it's not something you should do ethically, legally, then just don't make a habit of like making that a thing that you would do. You just don't want that to follow you and be something you have to worry about. Arizet, hello. Good evening / whatever time of day it is for you. Oh, it might be morning for you, right? Late morning, maybe? I'm so bad at remembering stuff like that. But good to see you. Hello. Quiet day over here. I'm just waiting for an appointment, so thought I'd pop in. Oh, fun. Appointments are the greatest. I hope that it goes well, whatever it is. And thanks for joining for a few minutes. Drawing a panda bear, eating ice cream. Because apparently I'm in a very irrelevant mood today. Irreverent, maybe, is a better word. Irreverent. Yeah, they're cute. And they could probably kill you. Well, I'm good. It's a light crowd so far, I believe. Mary Beth is out on an adventure, so she's kind of not entirely checked in with us yet. But I was filling in. I was doing live, what do you call it? Art demonstrations yesterday at a art fair, and it went pretty well. It was fun. More or less. Everything hurts today. Like between dragging tables and bins and easels, a couple of out to my car, which is almost a block down the stairs, and then to set it up in the middle of the park, and then getting that broken down, standing for 7 hours on concrete. Yeah, just everything hurts. No big deal. But yeah, maybe a bit of a either ice pack or heating pad after the stream today, and I'll get around. I just need one more good night's sleep, I think. Oh yeah, I saw you posted the pic. That must have been great. Except for the whole outdoor standing on concrete. Being around people, lugging stuff. Yeah. It wasn't bad, the whole being outdoors thing, because the weather was actually really great. I didn't even have anything. The only thing I was worried about is that it might be windy, so I took sandbags to try to stabilize the easel if I needed to. Didn't end up being windy, and then I thought maybe I'd get sunburned or something, but there was a lot of shade from trees all around me. It ended up being pretty nice, except for the worst thing about it, which wasn't really a problem at all, was there was a little spider building a little web on my little pricing sheets, and little critter ants crawling on the painting and stuff like that. And then as far as people goes, mostly I'm just in the zone. The time kind of flew by for me, because once I'm working on the stuff, I'm just there. I'm just in that. Nothing else is going on unless somebody got close enough to me to burst my little focus bubble, and then I'd just be oh, hi, how are you? Some people would come by and ask questions, but by and large it was just You know, it's mostly arty people too, so that's kind of cool. Or at least people that on some level appreciate or enjoy art since they're there. But yeah, mostly good, mostly fun. I am fairly certain that this is a an AI photo. Fairly certain. A little more than fairly certain. But we're going with it anyway, because it's cute and I'm just in a not very serious mood for working on stuff today. Just not worried about it. Just need something silly. I reset myself a little bit. Yeah, I think now I need to figure out like what my next like proper art project is. Either that or I guess I could finish something that I've already started and have been working on. But either way, I need to be figuring out what's next. What projects do I want to focus on? Now that this week I go and clean up my show that was spent at the public library. The next town over, that's coming down. Been up for a month, and then the art fair thing is done, so it's like I can finally just think about what's going on here in the studio for a little bit. That will be the goal. Decide what the heck am I doing. Not that I usually ever know. Finish something you started? What is this? I know. Yeah. It's a inside joke, you know. But just in case it should ever happen to happen. Maybe. I know, it's the worst. I'm the worst with that stuff. I don't know why. Why is it so hard? Some projects. Another thing, you know what would be good? What would be really great? Is if I were to do something insane like clean my closet. Like when I was digging around looking for things that I needed for the art fair at the very last minute, because that's how I roll, I realized that there were shelves around the corner in the back, like big shelves that are basically empty. Meanwhile, you open the door and everything's like gonna come and fall onto you when you open it. It's like, this is just a very bad use of space. Very bad. So, yeah, I should consider addressing that too, but... And it's not the only closet that's kind of in that situation around here. I just need to do some closet everything. But especially in here. It's just completely out of hand. Do pandas, like... I don't see any teeth. I guess you can kind of see maybe a tongue... Kinda behind the ice cream cone, kinda. A little. That might be what I'm looking at. They just like eat, they eat vegetation, right? So they wouldn't have like pointy teeth. Would they? I don't know. Watch me not know things. Happens once in a while. only once in a while. Well, it's kind of funny because now that I'm thinking about it, when I did this tufting thing this weekend at this place, and I did what I chose to create there was actually an ice cream like popsicle ice cream style with an eyeball, kind of loosely based on a painting that I did ages ago, watercolor painting. Yeah, so a little ice cream theme going on here. And to top that off, they have human-style teeth. Ooh, that's kind of creepy. But I guess it makes sense. If they eat bamboo, they gotta do a lot of chewing, like cows, right? Who also probably have human-style. Yes! Yes! Can you share something you accomplished this week? Absolutely, please do. These are the things I want to know about. What's happening? What's going on? This is the stuff that I love. Please share. While you're doing that, I'm going to take a sip of my day-old coffee. Cold coffee. My ice cream does not look like ice cream yet, so hopefully once I get the cone on there, it'll make it actually look like something. Does he have a cone inside of a cone? What is going on there? Not entirely sure. Or is that just AI not understanding what ice cream in a cone actually looks like or is? Granted, I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know that this is an AI image. I think it is. I believe. Okay, let's see here. I did the first initial draft of your graphic novel this week. There are only front-on faces, but I'm so happy because I'm finally understanding the face so much I can make minor adjustments to make them look how I see them. That's awesome. That's huge. Congratulations on getting that far. That is an amazing accomplishment. I'm excited about it. I'm excited for you. Very cool. Heck yeah, that's like most people that decide they want to do something like that never get that far. So you're way ahead of majority of humanity in their projects. That's awesome. How many pages long is it? Is it like a huge book? Is it like a comic, like a little bigger than a comic book? Is it like a full novel? I'm curious. And I can't wait to see, like, once you have it proper. I cannot wait. That is the coolest thing. I feel like all this grinding is finally paying off. Yeah, all that background work that nobody sees. And that after a while you're like, okay, can I see something happening? I know what you mean about that. I definitely understand what you're saying there, but yeah, now you're getting there. It's such a massive hurdle, so thank you for celebrating with me. Heck yeah! Cheers with my old coffee. We gotta celebrate these things. This is awesome. Anytime we accomplish things and start making those kinds of like, what's it, like steps? Is that the word I'm thinking of? Like steps in terms of like accomplishing a goal? Man, absolutely. Gotta look at this guy. How long is his cone compared to his head? It's about like that. Okay. Thumb measuring. Very high tech. That can't be right. Something is not. No, that can't be right. I'm doing something wrong here. Prior to art, I wrote books, so instead of a book, I'm adapting it to a graphic novel. As to how long it will be, your guess is as good as mine. It's literally new to me, and adapting it is so interesting. That's so cool. And it's very exciting. And I love that you're like adding this other layer of dimension to it by making it a graphic novel, and you're learning so much by doing that. A lot of new skills. So heck yeah. No, I love hearing. I always want to hear like what you're working on, what's working, what isn't. That's the whole point, having like a community, creative community where we get together and just like work on stuff and be creative and talk about creativity and do the things. I love the panda as it's coming along. Oh, thank you. I'm trying to figure out like something isn't quite working right with the cone. And I guess it cuts off at the bottom of the page. Let me see. Let me on the screen. Okay, I think that I am mismeasuring. So if it's like here to here. So I made it a little wider. I'm not good with straight lines, so not my forte. Appointment time. If I don't catch you before you finish, have an awesome day. You too. Absolutely. Hopefully I'll see you on Thursday. If not, cool. But keep going with your stuff. I can't wait about it. I'm so excited. Awesome. Take care. All right. This might be a little better, maybe? It's like the end of the photo. About there, right? Cuts off. Kind of like that. It still doesn't, that does not feel right to me. Maybe I just need to make it come to a sharper point. My watch, my Apple Watch is yelling at me because I actually finished, or all my rings got closed yesterday from doing all the fair stuff. And then I've just been home and very, very tired today, and I'm not anywhere close to that. So it's like, you can still do it. Go for a walk. It's like 7:30 and we're here. There's no walk happening tonight. Unfortunately. Okay. Approximately an ice cream cone. I don't know. Sure. We'll go with that. Is it that it's weird? Yeah, it is like a crazy long cone that doesn't quite make sense. I don't know. We're going with it. I'm gonna pretend it's an AI thing, and once we draw the paws in there, it probably won't be so weird, because that's kind of what makes it work. He has these giant fuzzy paws. the eye reflections are throwing me off a little bit too. All right, before I forget, let's do the rest of his mouth. That might help. So it was crazy, crazy hot for a couple days last week. And now it's much cooler, relatively speaking. But I think it's supposed to get hot again this weekend. So, yay, hopefully it won't be as terrible. Maybe there just won't be like the crazy heat index or something where you like go outside and can't breathe kind of day. We can hope. I know some people are really, really amazing at drawing fur. I do not think that I am great at doing fur. I just scribble. Mostly. I think I'll probably get some color on him. I don't know. I am using my mixed media pad still. So I could paint a little bit on there, or maybe some colored pencils, which I don't usually work with very much, but pencil's really nice on this paper. So try it a little bit. See how that works, perhaps. So many options. And as far as the texture on this cone, we're definitely going to just kind of simplify that a little bit. Just draw some diamonds. Not going to worry too much about that being perfect. I don't know if anybody grew up reading like the comics in newspapers, but there are always some where there would be like a character that wore a plaid shirt or something, or checkered shirt, and no matter how they were positioned, like what position they were in or what they were doing, the checkers were just straight lines up and straight lines across. They didn't move with the clothing or the figure. That used to always like perplex me. But that's kind of like what I'm doing here, is just like a flat pattern where I'm not making it curve with a thing or whatever, which flattens things a lot, of course. But yeah, I do remember as a child finding that to be rather perplexing. And I don't know if that's still, like, do comics still, like the comic page, the funnies, whatever, does that still come in the newspaper? I haven't had a newspaper in a long time, so I don't even know. 'Tis unknown to me. Another approximate paw over here. Where the photo cuts off is kind of weird to me. Yeah. Again, back to like the thing with Henry Matisse, the artist that would didn't like to draw feet, so he'd always just cut them off for the most part. Like have them just going off the edge of the canvas or something. That's almost what it looks like here, the way it's cropped. But I mean, you get the primary focus, the face, the nice lighting on the face, the brightest part, and the ice cream. So it's, you know, it's basically a fine composition, but it's whatever. I'm just talking, I'm just observing the things that come into my head while I'm drawing the picture. What I notice. So just the top of a foot. And a lot of just kind of dark over here, not too much detail, but I think I can kind of make out that his little arm is like there, and then just much darker in here. I'm using a Faber Design Ebony Jet Black Extra Smooth. It's a very soft pencil. It's very, very soft graphite. So it works well for when I'm sketching like this on camera. The camera picks it up really well. Whereas if I'm using a lighter pencil, like even this just H pencil, because sometimes when I'm going to paint something, especially in watercolor, like you know your pencil line's going to show through, so maybe you want a little lighter, so I can make adjustments and erase easily without that being obvious or whatever. But then you don't, then it doesn't translate well with the camera. Unless I turn the light pretty low or the ISO really low on the camera, and then that will, when I start painting, it's gonna look weird. So it just seems to work better to use a nice dark heavy pencil for this, and then the lines will just be the lines, and that's fine. Oh, those big old claws coming out of there. Out of his paws. Reminds me that I need to clip my cat's nails. Okay, so we could see a little bit of the fuzzy belly coming back there. Behind the toes, for which you can also see some nails. And over here, top of a foot. I think. Leg, foot, something. mean, what's not to love? Fuzzy critters. So anybody working on anything else tonight? Any creative projects out there? Just hanging out, relaxing? I think there's another claw like up here that I just can't see, but there probably is one there. It's funny, even though I have my iPad right in front of me where I can see the photo, for some reason, like I keep wanting to look at it on my computer screen. It seems like I can see it a little better there, even though it's pretty small compared to what's on my screen here. I don't know. But I'm just explaining why I keep looking over there. I'm looking at the same picture that's right in front of me right there, too. Weird visual things, the way that I perceive it, I guess. And bear nostrils are very interesting. I'd never given them much pay attention before. Alright. I'm not going to add too much more shading, I don't think, because I do want to get out some... I think I might just grab some colored... Okay, I could do colored pencils, or I could grab this Chroma Blends pearlescent watercolors and go over the pencil, which... if I'm careful, I can maybe keep it from smearing too much because it's pretty soft, so that's why it's so dark. Yeah, and it's sort of like when I talked about colorizing black and white photos, that'd basically be what I'd be doing here, kind of. Decisions. What to do? Just add a little bit more to get like the basis of what's darkest and where the shadows will be. One thing is with these paints, I can't get much in the way of like really dark tones. It's kind of just some color, and even blending them together doesn't get much darker. So, I don't know. I'll try some colored pencils, I suppose. Why not? Why not? I'm game to make a disaster out of things and experiment. All right. Hi, Mary Beth. How was your adventures? Did you find any water lilies in bloom? I have seen some blooming lotus flowers this year. Oh, that surprised me. That was out somewhere... Where? Oh gosh. Kind of up in Lake County at a little park there. Alrighty, I think this is good enough for my sketch. Yes, but I needed my kayak to get to them. Oh no! Well, that's not a bad thing. Kayaking's great. Ah, day old coffee. Alright, getting some color on this guy. Sorry, itch. Uh-oh, why am I missing one? What did I do? I was using them 3 days ago in the living room for something. So chances are there's one floating around. Maybe under the coffee table? Hopefully I will remember to go look. Oh my goodness, I need to start sharpening some of these guys too, and I think I left my non-electric pencil sharpener out there as well, so we're not going to go with the pinks as much because, man, I really hate the pink. There's only one pink tone in here, and that's the only one. So I think maybe we'll go for some like mint chocolate chip ice cream kind of thing. So let's see. I also don't have the greatest like minty color, so we'll kind of see if we can mix it into existence. I guess that's the thing that I don't love. One of the things I don't love with colored pencils is I never really have the color I actually want to use. Seems like. And then it doesn't feel like you have a great basis of mixing materials to like layer them up to get it. But we'll give it a try. Can I get a nice soft minty color without it getting too dark? Yeah, we're going very irreverent today with our sketchbook project. Just something cute and fun. And I'm not following the original for colors. Mostly because I hate the tones of, like, pinks that I have in these colored pencils. And I'm kinda thinking maybe the ice cream should be melting down the cone. We're getting a little too, like, citrusy in color. It's not... It looks like he's eating, like, some kind of crazy lime ice cream instead of... Huh. I don't know. We might not quite get there, because I also don't want it to be too dark. Because that would be also alarming for a mint chocolate chip ice cream. Yeah, let's do that. Let's add a drip going down the side of the cone. At least one. Maybe a couple. Now it can start to actually look like It looked like real ice cream, maybe. So, keep our color kind of going here. Trying to achieve something that looks like, yeah, like a minty ice cream. I don't know. I'm not sure how well these would blend on this paper. It looks like he's eating spinach ice cream, but maybe that's appropriate for a panda. That could just be in the logic of the photo and our little imaginary panda world. Maybe that's okay. And I don't know if I'll be able to tone this with any white or not. We'll give it a try. That kind of almost seems... That can kind of give me a little bit more of a pastel hue here. It's a little limited, but, yeah, that's a little better. Sorry, y'all. That was, the microphone coming to grips with anything that I'm doing all the time. Okay, now we need some chocolate chips in there. Maybe it's actually like bamboo flavored ice cream with bits of like the hard bark in there. Did I mention I was kind of tired? Yeah, I can get a little loopy when I'm a little tired, so never mind the ridiculousness. Now the cone. Gotta do the most colorful elements first because they're the most fun. And of course our drips have to cast a little bit of a shadow, because... Wouldn't they? I don't know. And to get our actual waffle cone kind of color going here. Definitely lost some of my pattern. With my shading attempts. Did I mention I don't usually work with colored pencils much? And maybe... Man, I really need to sharpen these. I never think about it until I'm actually using them. And then I don't want to be, you know, running my electric sharpener when I'm streaming. You guys would love that, I'm sure. So, hopefully, you know what would be brilliant? I could write a note to myself to remind myself to sharpen my colored pencils. Let's just do that right now. Because otherwise it will leave my brain to never be seen again. Sharpen colored pencils. Put it right on my keyboard. I might remember now. There is a chance. But then, of course, I probably won't actually like get them out to use them again for, like, I'll get them all sharpened and then they'll get put away for a year. That's just how it goes. Okay. Good enough for now. Well, I do have a pink tongue, so I suppose I can, like, not change the color of that and make it too weird. I'm so unhappy with the pinks in this set of colored pencils. It is what it is. And for my panda, well, we might as well continue to have some fun with this. These also have a really terrible, like, purple. You want a mid-purple? Can I have a mid-purple? No, I have 2 very warm ones and a lilac. That's what I get. That's what I got. Yeah, I wonder how they made the selections that they did for these colors. I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna go... I was thinking to make his dark part purple, but boy, I don't have good colors for it. Let's just see what happens. We'll give it a try. Mike Munchie, hello. Never thought to mix graphite and colored pencil. Looks cool. Mostly coming from experimenting because I never use colored pencils really, and I'm just like, let's see. Let's try this and see what happens, because into breaking things all the time. Nothing is sacred in my art studio. Think it'll turn out terrible? Let's try it anyway. We're gonna find out for sure. And then maybe we'll try it a couple times, just to really make sure. Gotta keep it interesting. What's the brand of colored pencils? These are Uni Pascas? Pasca pencils. I'd ordered them ages ago on from Dick Blick Art Supplies website. They were a pretty affordable option for getting a bunch of colors, and so I decided to try them. I don't love the selection of colors just for the way that I think about color and the way that I work and do things, but I don't know, maybe for people that really genuinely, like, legitimately work with colored pencils, it might be totally fine. I'm not sure. I get a little frustrated with trying to mix colors with them. Not that I've done a lot with that to try. I haven't, like, seriously given it my all. I happened to use them a few days ago because I was needed to come up with a sketch where I was going to this pop craft place and was going to do a tufting a rug, trying to tuft a little rug there. They wanted you to have your design ready to go beforehand. So I did a sketch, and then to add in the color, I just grabbed these guys because that seemed like the easiest thing to do in the sketchbook. And yeah, and apparently I left one somewhere and I have no idea what color it is that I'm missing, but I'm missing one and it's definitely in my living room somewhere. I tried watercolor, but the lack of control, I stick to colored pencil and pastel pencil. Hey, you can actually use watercolor pencil too and just add a little pencil. Yeah, watercolor is tricky and it takes getting used to. And I think it's just anything tends to be that way, right? If you just keep messing with it, eventually it makes a little bit more sense. But yeah, it is transparent. Yeah. I totally get what you're saying, and I understand entirely. I do love watercolor. I come to love watercolor. I didn't always. Definitely didn't always. And especially if you don't have, like, if you're never really shown some tricks about them, there is a lot available online, which is nice, of course, with YouTube. But I did, when I was in school, in art school, there was somebody there who was going back to school. She was a little older and had already had a BFA, but was going back to get one specifically. I think it was like specifically in illustration or something like that. And she'd worked a lot with watercolors, and I had asked her to show me some things, and she did. And that was a million years ago. And then I like never worked with them for a really long time after that. And then like a couple years ago, I'm like, you know what? I think I want to go back to trying to use watercolor, because I was getting stressed out with working with other things that were problematic for one reason or another. And it takes some messing around. It takes some kind of experimenting again and just trying it and see what happens. But I come to really like it. One of the things I like the best about it is that you can like lay down a few things on your paper and come in here and be like, I'm gonna paint in this ear, and that's it. I'm just gonna paint that ear and go about my day. And it's totally fine. I'm not wasting any paint. I just get my palette, that little spot, the colors I want in the palette wet, and color that part in, and then it'll dry and the palette will dry, and the next day I can come in and wet it again and just keep working. That's kind of the thing that really appealed to me about it, because I always felt like I was working against the clock when it came to working with acrylic paint, which is what I was kind of taught to use mostly. It dries so fast, and then you put your paints down the palette, but then you end up not using some of it, and then you feel like you're wasting so much, and you can't like walk away from it for very long if you have wet paint down, because then it's no good anymore. It's just so much stress. And I still use acrylic a lot. I was using them this weekend when I was doing a live painting demonstration at an art fair. And it was a little tricky because I was also outside on a warm day, so they're drying even faster than usual. But, you know, love-hate relationship with about everything. I'm messing with watercolor and loving it after I learned some tricks. I think, yeah, it's sort of like if you learn a few things to kind of build on, that helps a lot. Because otherwise it just feels like so daunting and untenable. And I have no idea what I'm doing right now in terms of my choices in medium. I'm just playing. This is my sketchbook where I experiment with things. So this is, and that's kind of what this book has become. This is my mixed media sketchbook, and it is literally just messing around with some mediums that I don't use a lot, seeing what happens. So I have watercolor in here, I have gouache in here, I have, and even watercolor, simply because like I'm not used to working with watercolor on this paper, so that's sort of a new experience too. So this is my practice doing some drawings, and also like drawing some things I don't normally draw, and then working with them in media that I don't necessarily usually use to. So it's just overall having fun, experimenting. It's not precious at all. Like, that is the biggest point that I have with this particular book, is that, and I mean, I try to approach so much of my work that way anyway. It's not precious. So I'm not afraid to just dive in and try things and experiment a lot. Which means that sometimes things are going to turn out terribly. And that's totally okay. But it also opens you up to a lot of potential for growth. And experimenting is just, it's fun. It's like playing. It's like adult play, like we used to do when we were kids. And there is tremendous value to that. I think ages ago I made a video. It's probably not a very good video, but I made a video where I was talking about like the value of playing. Just for our mental health, for our physical health too, because our mental health and our physical health are completely intertwined. Our mind is our part of our body, like our brain is our body. So can't truly separate those things apart from each other. Learning by play. Yes. Heck yes. Sometimes really fun things come out of it, and you stumble on to great stuff. Every now and again. And then, you know, good for stress and anxiety and depression. All that stuff too. And I am going to get through this drawing without sharpening a single pencil. I am determined. As a very random goal, but I'm going to wait till tomorrow morning when I come into my studio and I see right on my keyboard where I wrote a note to sharpen my colored pencils. And I'll just do that before anything else happens while I'm having my coffee and I don't need to think too hard about much. That'll get my day started. That noisy electric pencil sharpener, that'll wake me up. That's the plan. But I do mean to actually go to bed early tonight because, man, tired. After that painting live yesterday, 7 hours out standing on concrete. Not that it bothered me at the time. It was like adrenaline and I'm so focused on what I'm doing. The time went fast, but then I got home and sat down and it was like, oh my God, I can't feel my body anymore. And I would like to sleep for 3 days, please. There's something called the letdown effect, which is a very fascinating thing to me. It's like when you get through some big project or big event, something, it can be something that's you've really been looking forward to and working hard for. It can be anything. But sometimes you get through that thing and then you just feel like tired and drained and sick. Just like complete physical, emotional, mental fatigue and like almost a little sad and disappointed. And there's like a real physical effect called the letdown effect after you finish something that can happen where it's like, it's kind of like you've been working hard towards something. Your immune system is kind of kicked into high gear. And once you're done with that and your body says, okay, we're safe now, it's done, we don't need to be stressed about this particular thing. And it goes back to reset and then you feel terrible. It's a totally real thing. Oh, but the fair went really well. Thank you for asking. It went great. There was a good turnout. The weather was fantastic. And And it was fun. I came up with a couple of subjects I really enjoyed painting. Ooh, I can actually show you guys real quick. I'm going to do a quick camera switch here, I think. See if this works. Ooh, I'm small. Okay, there I am. Just for a second, I'm going to show you, I can show you my paintings that I did yesterday. So this was one. Where's my camera? Oh, that's my computer camera. Okay, so this is one. I did Frida Kahlo for one of my portraits. And that was the last one I did. Took about 3.5 hours to get this far. I wouldn't say it's finished. I had a pink underpainting, which was really interesting to work with for doing a portrait, and I really like the effect of it, but the weird white balance thing going on that camera. So that one's one, and then the other one was Marilyn Monroe. So this was my other painting that I did. This one took me, started at 10, I finished about 1:30, so 3.5 hours. About. Man, the lighting is just not good from there. All my lights are behind me, so sorry. But yeah, that was the other one. It's not showing the best, but there's a lot of I did quite a bit of palette knife painting on there. I can switch back here and get back to drawing, but yeah, that was, there we are. Much better lighting here. Okay, so that's what we want. And it was funny because the first painting went very easily. Also, I had sketched them ahead of time. I had an underpainting done on each of them, pink for Frida and teal for the Marilyn Monroe one. And I'd done the drawing already. So it was just putting down paint and working, and it was working fast and trying to come up with something. The first painting went really well. The second one, I wasn't sure if that was coming together at all. I was really, for some reason, that was going much more difficult. But then it kind of did start to come together, and it wasn't even me that figured that out. I was struggling. I thought I was struggling so much with it, and then people came up and oh, I know who that is and stuff. And then it's okay, I need to stand back and see what's happening. I'm standing back. It's oh, I get it. It's great. It's coming. It's actually starting to come together. And yeah, I'm really happy with kind of what happened with the paintings. I'm happy with how they turned out, basically. Yeah. As far as commissions that may come from it, I really have no idea. A few people did ask me if I do commissions and took a business card, but I figure for about every 10 people who ask that, one might actually have me do something. I don't really know. I'm somewhat new to your channel, but the first video I saw from you was doing a huge Bowie collage, and that was where we're at. Oh, awesome. That was one of the first streams I was doing, I think, was with that Bowie. So that was early streaming for me, just earlier this year. And I love that one. That was actually one that I had started last year at the fair, at that same fair. I started that painting, didn't finish it there, and then sat on it for 4, 5, 6 months or something, and then finally decided, I'm just going to finish it and and start streaming stuff. So that was really fun. And that was great. And I love David Bowie. He was a wonderful subject as well. And thank you for checking out the video. That's really cool. That was a fun one. As I recall, I did some found objects on that piece too, and that was the first time I really experimented with that as well. So fun stuff. Always just messing around. That's what you can find here on my channel. Lots of messing around. This guy's coming. He's actually far cuter than I anticipated he would be. I haven't done real cute for a while because that tends to be like, I did a lot of stuff that was very like cuter when I was doing a lot more illustration work in the past, characters and things. So yeah, I haven't done much of that just recently, and yeah, it's fun. Getting back to some roots. You never leave anything completely behind. Whatever you've done or experienced always contributes to who you are on some level. So yeah, still have some of that in it, that cute stuff in me apparently. Who knew? Yeah, this really does remind me of some old illustration work. Ooh, came dangerously close to smashing into the microphone with my pencil again. Anytime I do that, just a pre-apology right now. I really don't mean to do it, but I'm not always great with spatial awareness. So going back and forth between drinking day-old coffee and fancy seltzer water, which was very affordable at Costco. Okay. Now, for his white fur. Let's see. Maybe some blue. Some light blue, maybe. Perhaps. Sure. I got a pretty decent pastel blue in here that is not offensive to me. So we'll give that a try. So for anybody that works with colored pencils, what, like, Mike Munchie, you mentioned that you work with colored pencils. What brand do you, like, what do you recommend? What do you think is a good colored pencil? I'm curious. This is the only stuff I have outside of some more, I think I have some Crayola colored pencils from somewhere. So just wondering what you would recommend as being good. And yeah, day-old coffee. I brewed some last night, didn't drink it all, and I hate wasting coffee. That's just sacrilege in my household. So I poured it in this tumbler, and waste not, want not. Now when it comes to coffee, you don't waste that. It's a very terrible thing to do. And I probably could have put it in a regular cup and actually heated it up a little bit, but it's not the same. Especially since I actually own a microwave now, and I hadn't for a very long time, at least not one that worked. Like, ooh, I can heat up coffee now. And then not do it. Also, drawing this is kind of making me want ice cream. Although I'm not a big fan of mint chocolate chip. Erisat, you are back. Stay away from Prismacolors. They changed their formula. Waxy now. Somebody else told me that recently. Yeah, I think I was actually in, oh yeah, I was buying some colored pencils for a friend because I got them an adult coloring book. And so I was going to give him some like basic colored pencils to go with it. And the sales clerk was telling me that. So yeah, that's good to know. Because they used to be like one of the better ones, didn't they? Fantastic show, thank you. I like Faber-Castell, Polychromos, and Blick brand for your sketchbook because they're cheaper and I prefer oil-based. Oh, nice. Okay, thank you. I actually don't know if these are... what base these are. To be honest, I have no idea. They... Because I know if they're oil based, you could actually use like an oil medium on them, couldn't you? Do you guys get Derwents or are they only an Aussie brand? I really like the Derwent pens. I have some of their pens, which now I can't find, but they are my favorite. I have a brown one here. They're my favorite mechanical style pen. I like them better than Microns. Oh yeah, here's one. Although I do know, I think they're easier to find now, but during the pandemic shutdown, it was like a major deal to get them. Like I was trying to order them. I found them on Amazon for like $8 a piece. Like, holy cow. Derwents are okay. I only know their markers. I haven't tried anything else from them. Pastel pencils. Ooh. And pastel pencils are really good. You know what they're really good for besides, you know, just coloring and that sort of thing. Drawing, like when you're going to paint on canvas, you can use the pastel pencils to draw onto the canvas, and you won't have the kind of embossing that you can get from drawing on canvas with pencil. And you can just use a damp cloth to wipe it away as in terms of like erasing lines that aren't correct. I can't spell on any keyboard, so it's okay. No judgment here. Especially on like a phone or phone keyboards, it's like suddenly my fingers grow like 5 times bigger than they are, and I just like can't hit the right keys at all. It is amazing, an amazing thing that happens. Yeah, typing on the phone, it just is what it is. Okay, so his belly is very dark outside, or very dark, being shadowy dark. Just outside of that little spot right there. Layer okay, I think. I guess. It's hard to compare it to anything about what's good or not because I'm just not that familiar with the medium in terms of having used much of it. because I used to always really love inking things, my go-to outside of acrylic paint for a really long time was actually just digital coloring things, Photoshop. I remember once seeing a documentary about pandas, like how hard it's been to get them to like breed in captivity, I guess. I think that was what it was about. It's been a while, but that was just popping back into my mind. Wait. Ah, hello from Ecuador. Awesome. Hello, Diana. Diana Ochoa? I don't know if I hope I'm saying that right. Correct me if I'm wrong, but hello, welcome. We're just drawing cutesy panda bears over here. Experimenting with things. I've been telling everybody how much experience I don't have with colored pencils. The vibrant purple and blue make the pic look really energetic. Ah, thank you. Can't be too boring with colors. For somebody who has spent a good deal of my life wearing a lot of black, I've become quite obsessed with colors, like lots of color. All right, he's coming along. It's hard to believe I've been working on this guy for an hour and a half now. My goodness. Ah! That surprised me. Sorry, guys. That time it wasn't the water, the microphone. I hit my pencil against my water jar, which I had out just in case. Just in case. I didn't know what I was going to work as I hit my pencil against the microphone. Oh my goodness. I'm a bit of a klutz. This cannot be avoided. Feel like I need to add something a little bit more to color-wise. I'm not quite sure what yet. Let's see. Thinking. It's always dangerous. Stopped wearing black specifically on Mondays from way back when. I worked in a call center at a bank. Realized everyone on Monday wore black without realizing it, so I made it a point not to. That's kind of great. What is it with those bank jobs? I actually worked at couple different banks right out of art school because I just needed a job. Did not enjoy. And it was back in the day where they had the dress like, I'm sure when you deal with people, there's still the dress codes, but it was a must wear stockings dress code. Like, does that still exist anywhere? Like maybe in law firms or something? Man. That would be really hard to go back to now. Do people still wear nylons? Yeah, I know. It was a few years ago. But, ugh. My workaround was that I'd usually just wear, like, pants. And then I would wear, like, just the knee-high stockings and call it a day. Like, I don't think anybody's gonna check how high up my stockings go. These days, who knows? I probably have the same issue you have with like a watercolor paint, where once you have the color down, there's a transparency, so there's not really much getting lighter again. But I think I should push the yellow in the cone a little bit more. Did that make it better or worse? Yeah. Eternally unimpressed by my own artwork. Maybe? I don't know. It must be something in my camera in here and setting in my camera, but the things always seem to look a little bit cooler on stream than they do like when I'm looking at it. It looks like this looks quite warm brown, but not so much when I look at it on the screen with what the camera is capturing. And I've noticed that with a couple other things that I've done recently, so I need to look at that. It might be a white balance issue. Most likely it is. Only if men are wearing them too, I'll wear them the stockings. Yeah, that was, I wonder if they still require that. Like I said, just a few years ago. But then I went from working there to working at a mortgage center where I don't think they required stockings because you didn't deal with the public, but you were still supposed to dress business, casual business, I don't know. And it was the first place I worked where it's like, you can wear jeans on Friday. Woo. Good old days. The old coffee. Okay, where are we at? I like the green of the ice cream for what it's worth. Well, thank you. Thank you, thank you. And then I need to do his eyes still. Oh, that's weird. I don't like that at all. Okay, that's okay. I can fix that. Let's just make them the same to start. I've definitely lost the highlights of, like, around the eye. I colored in a little too aggressively there. Especially on this one. Pencil blending takes a lot of practice. It's all about going in light and then layering and layering from my own experience. Nobody wants to go back to office to work. Dreaded work approval close. Yeah, that was... That kind of work in general wasn't a great fit for me, I will have to admit. I did not get on well with my boss there, and it was and on top of that, it was a little bit of a kind of a toxic work environment, which didn't help anything. You know what? I think this eye is too high, maybe a bit. I don't think there's nothing I can do about that right now, though. I don't know if I can... Can you erase this stuff? Kinda, a little bit. Try to get some of that highlight back there. I just had a moment right there where I was trying to find the pencil that I was holding in my hand. That's amazing. Yeah, that eye is... I don't know if I can fix this, but I'm going to try. All right. Okay. Didn't break anything yet. Let's see if I can correct that eye. Redraw it in first. Ugh, that gave me a heart attack. It shouldn't. I don't know why I'm so worried. Okay, we're gonna try that. Where are the colors I need? Okay, and highlight. Don't forget the highlight. That's probably why the highlight looked so weird to me before, because I was in totally the wrong position. That's better, I think. Better enough. That's the wrong color. Look at my super dull pencils. That I will sharpen them all tomorrow. I'm just gonna add some like super contrast for the face here. Because that's where we really want the attention to be, after all. Okay. And there is our ice cream eating panda bear. He's pretty cute. I'm okay with that. I said that like I was done, and then I continued to work. That helped. Good. Caitlin, hello! Cora says hi. Oh, I haven't met Cora yet. Soon. Okay. More or less. Panda bear. Okay. One more thing. My ice cream cone got very flat. That's a little better. Let's see. At this point, I don't know if the fact that I worked over any graphite pencil mattered at all. Because I don't know that you can even tell at this point. There's some faint lines you can still see coming through, I guess, but... that part's a little better, and... we're just leaning into chaos now, guys. That's a little better. I've not had great experience with colored pencils in terms of erasability, but it's not too bad here. Comes up a little bit. Probably depends on the base and the paper. I mean, this is like a vellum sheet, so it might be a little slipperier than other surfaces, perhaps. Yeah, more or less. I'm pretty happy with that, I think. Yeah, I know, I have problems. Like, I'm done! No, I'm not. I'm done! No, I'm not. This is how I am with everything. Like at the fair yesterday, I was painting, like, it seems like a lot of people start to kind of clean up their tents, pick things up and get ready to go, like as the end of the show is approaching, because people kind of start to taper off. And it's like 4:59, the show goes till 5, and I am still putting new paint on my palette. Like, no, I got a little bit more painting to do. It can't be done yet. Yeah, Watson hasn't come by yet. He'd settled down for a nap, like right before I was starting the stream, so no sign of Watson yet tonight. Usually the closer we get to 9, the better likelihood of him showing up, but not yet. He must be sleeping pretty well. All right, AI Panda, I think I got you. Again, I don't know for sure that it's AI, but I'm pretty sure it's AI. I think it's AI image. Yeah, that weird eye thing. That again is like a symptom of me sitting here, like this far away from my drawing being flat. I'm here, the drawing's there, flat, so I'm seeing it at a weird angle, and even though I keep looking at the screen to see the picture, I haven't been looking at my drawing. I've just been looking at the picture of the panda. So sometimes weird things happen and I don't even realize that's happening. Until I'm almost done, it's like, wait, no, that's not right. And why I'm fussing this thing to death, I couldn't tell you. It's just what I'm working on. All right, I have turned our panda, possibly AI, into a cartoon panda, basically. And I'm okay with that. Anything else? Do I want to add anything? Background? I think tomorrow I'm going to play with watercolors and gouache when plein air painting tomorrow morning. Oh, nice. See what happens. Any thoughts? I really like traveling with watercolor. I think they travel great. Again, because of just the preservability of the palette. All you need is some water and paper. Definitely easier to work with watercolors flat. And if you're using non-acrylic gouache with water, probably the same. That is like, it's often better to work standing up and looking at your work, because then you do see it straight on, which is like the problem I have sometimes here. But when you are working with like watercolor, it's watery, so you're gonna potentially be fighting the paint like settling down or even dripping. So being able to work like flat on your lap or approximately that way is helpful. What else? Yeah, just some good clear water. I think it's super easy to travel with watercolor. Kind of work your way around the paper, one area at a time. Like if you work on one area and then that can dry maybe while you work on another. And then the other thing with watercolor is if you're doing like a large base of color, like if I were painting the background of this guy in watercolor and it's just like maybe one primary color, you're chasing the paint. So what you want to do is like start in one area and keep adding it and wetting your brush and adding the color all around before any edge gets dry, which can be tricky, especially if you have detailed edges that you're coming up against. But that's the trick of getting like a solid area without lots of like the edges of the dried watercolor. So it's I call it chasing the watercolor. I don't know how much of that you'll need to worry about with plein air painting, because sometimes if you start having that sort of thing and you're in nature, it's fine, and you can just keep adding different layers that dry at different places and get some very textured effects. Yeah, I'm sure it'll go great, and you'll have great lighting when you're outdoors or working with watercolor, which is kind of great. So yeah, I mean, that's fun. I love it. Doing some experimenting. Absolutely. Very cool. And then you'll have to let me know what you think and how it goes too afterwards. If it works well or something could be better. Sometimes the thing that I haven't figured out the best is like traveling with the water for painting. And I have recently been looking at like maybe collapsible water things for painting that you can carry with you. And then just having like a good bottle of water, some for drinking, some for pouring into your paint container. Like yesterday when I was painting, I just had like a cup not too different from like this, but much bigger, that I've had for 100 years. Like literally I got it when I was in college at Kmart for like $4, which is much bigger than that. And it looks disgusting. There's like paint all over it, just plasticky. There's Watson. He showed up. Hey, you. And then I just had a big canister with a screw on top full of just tap water. And now, of course, working with acrylics, it's, and not having a sink nearby, also attempting to like clean your brushes at least enough to get them home and give them a good wash without them being destroyed. With that, enough water for that. You don't need to worry about that much water for watercolor painting, but something that is bottom heavy enough that it won't spill over on you. I often use a glass jar because it's heavy enough to not spill, but if I'm painting outside, that's not always the best. Oh, Mommy says she loves Watson. She's watching too. Hello, and so is Grandma. Hello, everybody. Watson says, feed me. And maybe hello also. That's a good idea. Right now, I have a glass container and a water bottle. I've broken my glass container by traveling with it because I drop things. So I no longer carry the glass container with me when I'm going out of the house, typically. But yeah, something... There are things that I've seen online that I think about trying from time to time, and I haven't yet. So I don't have the perfect solution for that, but just the thoughts based on my experience with what I've done. Yeah, I don't know if somebody's designed a really great solution to that either. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. Possibility of breaking. Yeah, and then if you take like a paper cup, something disposable, which seems like a great solution, it can very easily blow if you even have a little bit of wind or breeze, and they don't sit very stably. So if you try to put it like maybe on the grassy ground or something, if depending on how you're sitting or where you are working, it can tip very easily. So yeah, need to find the perfect travel water jar, and this is literally something that I have been looking at and searching around for recently. So it's been on my mind. Don't have the right solution yet. But anyway, yeah, I can't believe I spent 2 hours working on this little guy, but I'm pretty happy with him. He's cute, and his eye is better than it was. Yeah. So I think we're gonna call it a night and get back to, we'll be back on Thursday. I gotta feed my cat pretty soon here. And so I hope everybody has a really great week with your creative projects or anything that you're working on. Just a good week in general. even besides that. So have an awesome week. Thanks to everybody for joining me. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. And Thursday at 10 a.m. I'll be back at it. I don't know what yet, but as usual, but we'll be working on something, hopefully fun and yeah, creative. Just creativity. That's all we worry about around here. So good night, everybody. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope to see you on Thursday. Bye.